Venice, located in northeast Italy by the Adriatic Sea, was once a maritime and financial powerhouse during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance period of Italy. Today, it's a bustling tourist town. Venice is located in a shallow lagoon and is filled with canals and streets also. My guess is there are more canals than there are streets. Every so often, some canals are paved over as a street, which is where my hotel was. And speaking of my hotel, that's the only place in the world where I took a boat to my hotel and then took a short walk to the hotel. As a tourist, one always finds their way to Rialto Bridge, which is a majestic bridge crossing the Grand Canal. Think of Grand Canal as the Broadway of Venice and Rialto Bridge's Main Street. The view of the Grand Canal from the Rialto Bridge is truly grand. You can watch the boats go by standing on the bridge and also see the restaurants bustling with activity with the tourists. Separately, further down in this video, I have a video of us floating on a boat going under the Rialto Bridge. When in Venice, be prepared to go up and down the stairs. You're crossing these small bridges where you can stop and watch the gondola riders go past. And then these roads, they seem to all lead to St. Mark's Square. For tourists in Venice, all roads lead to St. Mark's Square. The St. Mark's Square is a huge square and dominated by the St. Mark's Basilica or church, a magnificent church worth seeing on the inside. Right next to it is the Doge's Palace. The Doge in the Middle Ages was the head of state of Venice and ruled the region with strength. They dominated the land and the seas at that time. The palace itself is beautiful on the inside, and the entrance that actually I got to see at the end of the tour is a staircase where the Doge would go into the palace with the statues of Mars and Neptune side by side. Mars is the god of war on land, and Neptune is the god of war on the sea, signifying the dominance of Venice around the nation in the area. Hey, if you're liking this video, give it a like and a subscribe, please. Thanks. Also in St. Mark's Square, across from the Doge's Palace, is the Venice Bell Tower. Took a ride up to the top to be able to see beautiful views of Venice all around. Adjacent to St. Mark's Square, facing the Adriatic Sea, is a large walkway for tourists to walk on, take gondola rides from, and also be able to avail of the restaurants in the area. A great place to have a meal. One of the more fun demos we attended was visiting the shop of a master craftsman who builds accessories for gondolas. That includes the front of the gondola, that includes the oar, and here's a video with him describing how he makes the oar. And the last one is the oar support, which is very fascinating because that curved nature of the oar support has different purposes. One section is used for the oarsman to slow down the boat, one is to get it sped up, one is to let it coast along. And there's actually a science behind it, and these oar supports need to be made to exacting standards, which is what this master craftsman does.
Linea opposta che parte da qui.
To here is the opposite, so practically is an S. You cannot see because we are speaking about millimeters.
Yeah. La parte sotto.
Then the part underneath is round.
La parte sopra.
The upper part is an edge. This one is not over yet, that's why I show you another one.
Poi,
but you can see the edge a
in
little
base
bit.
alla totale lunghezza,
According to the total length, they're making the size of the paddle,
perché? Perché se la palla è troppo
because if
grande,
the paddle is too heavy,
We wrapped up our trip to Venice by taking a ride on the Vaporato, which is a public transport large boat. Think of it as your public transport bus that took us around the Grand Canal and then finished off with having gelato, which means ice cream, in St. Mark's Square. I'm going to wrap this up by leaving you with some videos of St. Mark's Square, the University of Venice, and also our ride on the Vaporato, which is the public transport boat, down the Grand Canal under the Rialto Bridge. And hey, if you like what you saw, please do like this video and subscribe to it. That's how I can grow the viewership of this video.